Coastal Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, the Miracle Mile, built on land once owned by the Hancock family. Alan Richard George Hancock was born in San Francisco in 1875 and grew up in Los Angeles. He attended several schools in the North, including Belmont College and Woodbury Business College. His father was Major Henry Hancock, a graduate of Harvard University. He was a lawyer and surveyor. His mother was Ida Harasti Hancock, daughter of Hungarian aristocrats Count and Countess Augustin Harasti, who had fled to this country in 1840 during the Hungarian Revolution with Austria. The Count introduced the growing of exotic grapes to Sonoma Valley when he founded the Buena Vista Vineyard and Winery, and has been called the father of California viticulture. The Buena Vista Winery still produces some of the finest wines in the world. The original map from 1828 of Jose Rocha's La Brea Rancho in the heart of what is today the Wilshire District. In 1860, Major Hancock, who had made the second land survey of Los Angeles and helped to lay out that city, purchased 3,000 acres of the old Rancho La Brea Spanish land grant for $2.50 an acre. After many years of litigation, clear title to the land was gained. He built a home and ranch in what is now Hancock Park, site of the Los Angeles County Museum. Young Allen spent his youth in these humble surroundings. Some years after his father's death in 1883, Allen had his first big business venture. It was in the newest boom in California, oil. With $10,000 borrowed from his mother, he drilled his first well. In 1907, Hancock Well Number 1 pioneered the use of steam in drilling and pumping. Between 1901 and 1915, 350 wells were drilled on the old ranch. Hancock drilled 71 himself and never struck a dry hole. Allen Hancock purchased the second automobile ever owned in Los Angeles, a Milwaukee Steamer, and he also organized and founded the Southern California Automobile Association. When fossils were discovered in the tar pits on the ranch, Hancock recognized the historic and scientific value of the find. It was said to be the greatest achievement in the history of paleontology. Scientists from the University of California came to the site and spent many years exploring and digging. Replicas of animals found in the pit. The fantastic collection were donated to Russia. Bicycles and buggies dominated Spring Street in downtown Los Angeles in 1899 on a 1924 Liberty traffic system. Hancock's first downtown office was in the Henny Building on Spring Street. He was in the banking business for over 50 years, founded the Los Angeles Hibernia Savings Bank, and created the California Bank, now the United California Bank. Ida Hancock and her son Alan. Adamita Hancock's home on Wilshire and Vermont, patterned after an Italian villa. The structure stood for over 30 years and was dismantled in 1937. 4 rooms from the old mansion were reassembled at the University of Southern California by Allen Hancock as a memorial to his mother. George Allen Hancock married Genevieve Mullen in 1901 and had 2 children, Bertram and Rosemary. In the early morning of June 29, 1925, Hancock's only son, Bertram, was killed in the earthquake that struck Santa Barbara. Hancock's continued interest in scientific education led to the endowment of the Hancock Foundation for Scientific Research at the University of Southern California. The building was dedicated January 3, 1941. Hancock served as president of the Board of Trustees at the University of Southern California from 1939 to 1950 and chairman of the board from 1950 to 1954. After owning several boats, Hancock acquired his maritime master's license, enabling him to pilot any ship afloat on any sea. Hancock purchased an old British Victory ship to transport produce to the west coast of the United States from his newly acquired ranch in Mazatlan, Mexico. This led to the construction of scientific research vessels. Valero 4 was launched in 1948 and still is in service for the U.S. State Department of Marine Biology. The ship was so modern for its time that it was known as the push-button sailor. Jacques Cousteau tested his new underwater diving equipment aboard the Valero, and Otis Barton recorded the first use of color photography at a depth of 4,500 feet. Famous personalities who visited aboard the Valero included Nobel Prize winner Albert Einstein. The Hancock scientific expedition collected valuable specimens and data from all over the South Pacific area off the coast of South America and the Caribbean, and Hancock presented these finds to various museums. Studies of all types of marine and animal life were made by scientists from major California universities. The expedition also made visits to Indian villages in Peru and Chile. At a ceremony at the Santa Ynez Mission, Captain Hancock married his second wife, Marion Mullen, in 1946, 10 years after the death of his first wife. Music played an important part in the life of Captain Hancock. Not only was he president of the Los Angeles Symphony, but he was an accomplished cellist who played with the L.A. Philharmonic and the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra. At the age of 50 in 1925, Captain Hancock came to Santa Maria. He purchased a 400-acre ranch and the faltering Santa Maria Valley Railroad. The railroad had been built by an English syndicate in 1911 to haul heavy oil to the railhead in Guadalupe. It was in the hands of receivers in 1925 when Captain Hancock took over and led it from a trickle of freight to over 30,000 cars a year. Hancock was a qualified engineer and for more than 30 years often served as a throttle. The crew went along for the ride and received their regular salary. Steam engines gave way to diesel. Captain Hancock still clung to Old 21. It was finally retired in 1962 with a gala last run attended by 400 employees, dignitaries, and rail buffs, including Walt Disney. The Santa Maria Valley Railroad is still an active concern in the valley today. Also still in operation is Hancock's La Brea Ice Company plant. Output was increased to freezing 300 tons a day, and by 1927 was completely electrified. It was used to refrigerate produce-laden freight cars leaving the valley. Pride of the valley was Rosemary Farm, named after Captain Hancock's daughter. Rosemary Farm grew to over 1,000 acres and was the most modern and fully equipped farm in the valley. All of the latest techniques and know-how of scientific farming were used. Not only did Captain Hancock pioneer scientific poultry, dairy, and cattle procedures, he also introduced new fertilizing methods and crop rotation, and proved that the valley could be a rich area for the growing of produce. The farm served as Captain Hancock's home and even contained a small zoo. With a capacity of 100,000 laying hens, the farm serves the poultry needs of the people of Santa Maria today. Special farm equipment was designed, built, and tested in the Rosemary Farm blacksmith shop. Lindbergh's daring flight brought attention to a new mode of transportation, and Hancock envisioned a great future for aviation. And so hay balers moved out and builders moved in. On October 21, 1928, the airfield was dedicated with thousands of spectators coming to Santa Maria for the air show. The airfield was constructed where Hancock College now stands. Santa Maria Airlines was formed soon afterwards. Flights were offered to nearby cities as well as San Francisco and Los Angeles. Many local people took their first airplane ride here. A meeting aboard Hancock's boat with early-day flyer Charles Kingsford Smith led to a hallmark event in aviation history. Hancock believed in the young flyer and agreed to finance the famous pioneer trans-Pacific flight of the Southern Cross from Oakland, California to Sydney, Australia. Upon completion of the flight, clear title to the plane was given Kingsford Smith by Hancock. The celebrated aircraft made an unforgettable visit to where it all began in Santa Maria, and 20,000 people turned out for the observance. Because of his belief in the future of flying, Hancock College of Aeronautics was founded, the first such school in the nation. And the first class of aviation students enrolled in May of 1929. Before he started the college, Captain Hancock learned to fly so that he could have an understanding of the students' needs. It was strictly a non-profit organization, but because of the Depression, the school closed in 1934 and reopened in 1939. At the start of World War II, the United States was in great need of qualified pilots, and General Omar Bradley asked Captain Hancock to help train them. In 5 years, Hancock College of Aeronautics trained 8,414 cadets for the U.S. Army Air Corps. Several of the first class of cadets participated on the raid over Tokyo. By 1945, the USC School of Aeronautics had leased the facility for $1 and offered a Bachelor of Science degree in aeronautical engineering. On July 20th, 1954, Santa Maria Junior College leased Hancock Field, and using the existing facilities, moved in, changing the name of the junior college to Allen Hancock College. Ground was broken on August 31, 1960, for the new campus building. The first buildings of the master plan for the development of the 104-acre campus. Today, Allen Hancock College is a modern, well-equipped community college serving the needs of the area as Captain Hancock envisioned it. With an enrollment of over 8,000, it is the cultural and educational center of the valley. The beautiful tree-lined campus stands where thousands of airplanes landed and took off. Over 150 fields of study are offered in 9 departments, with a full-time faculty of 133. Over 100 have their master's degree and 9 their PhDs. Hancock College has a proud tradition of excellence, not only in the halls of learning, but on the fields of athletics as well. Mrs. Marion Hancock Berry still plays an active role in Hancock College functions. Captain Hancock died on May 31, 1965, 2 months short of his 90th birthday. Captain Allen Hancock was a man of many interests and accomplishments. Oil pioneer, banker, scientist, educator, musician, seaman, railroad engineer, flyer, rancher, businessman, millionaire, and philanthropist. He was not merely a man who acquired a great deal of wealth, but was a man who shared his dreams and visions for the betterment of his fellow man. He was certainly the most extraordinary man ever to live in the Santa Maria Valley, and one of California's most illustrious sons. He was a remarkable man indeed.